What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we are going to talk about how to fit a large format tile like this, which is 48 inches, in a small bathroom. All right, so I know a lot of people have their personal opinions on layout, straight lay versus 50-50, yada, yada, yada. But besides layout, which is always a personal choice, there's always a way to fit a room that's otherwise small with a larger tile. All right, so that's what we're gonna go over today. So let's get to it. All right, so before we get into it, a little bit of housekeeping for anybody who is new here. My name is Shannon, also known as That Tile Chick, and I make videos about construction, real estate, business, all types of stuff. So thanks for being here. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment. Share it with all your friends. We really appreciate your support. So getting right into it, the first thing you want to do when you are planning to set tile on the floor in any room, and it's very important when you're doing large format in a small room, is you want to get the lay of the land. And that is checking if your walls are straight, checking if you can get a nice square line. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to lay your tile straight. Now, for example, let me show you this right here, what we laid out. Our door jamb over here wasn't perfectly straight. We are going to put a threshold here, and if we tried to measure the hallway that you're standing in right now, the wall kind of goes like this. So it like kicks back, and what that would do to our threshold and then translate over to our tile, which would make our tile sit cockeye, which then would make, if we're trying to run a full tile here, would bring this tile far out from the wall down here. It would start small and grow. As you can see, that our tile is perfectly straight, but you can see that there's differences in the wall. So anytime you're getting ready to do a project, always remember that your walls are most definitely not straight. They are not square. There's going to be differences in the drywall. So that's why you want to go around with your tape and you want to pull measurements and make sure that you can get a nice straight line. So step 2 would be to find out where your starting point is. And we did that by getting a straight line at the threshold, because we knew we're going to put a threshold piece here and the door obviously stops here. And what we don't want to do is have a reveal on the other side that isn't straight. So what we had to do is fix our door jamb, because our door jamb was kicked into the room this much on this side. So we weren't able to get a nice straight line. So we had to fix that. We actually had to kick this out and add some nails here so that it was flush on either side. Now, we don't care if the tile is going to go under the drywall a little bit, because that's going to get covered up. We don't care if it's going to come out less than the thickness of the baseboard. So all of these things, like when you're doing something like this, the project, everything affects something else. So you want to think 3 steps down the line and make sure that what you're doing is going to affect it in a positive way and not have an issue down the road. So anyway, we got our straight line. The next thing to do is to dry lay your tile. So that would be step 3. Anything bigger than this, I would suggest not dry laying. You can pull your measurements and you'd kind of have to start at one point or another. But for a room like this, if you wanted to get it done in one day, it's very beneficial to dry lay your tile, because then you can dry lay, you can get your cuts for this back row here, and then you can start from the back and work your way out. But there's multiple different layouts you can do for this tile. It's a 16 by 48, and pretty much we decided on doing a straight lay. I love straight lay tile. It's a large tile, and we are going to use a grout joint that matches the tile. So the grout joint is only going to be about a 1/16. So you're barely going to see it. My ideal vision for the floor is that it almost looks like it's all one piece. I don't really want to accentuate the grout joints at all. I want it to be as minimal as possible. So that's why I'm going with the straight lay. That is going to allow us to get 3 full rows going this way. And then here where our vanity is going to be, there's going to be like a 5.5 inch cut that's running along this side here. So it's gonna go under the vanity, behind the toilet, and you're never gonna see the cut over there. The other spot we're gonna have a cut is right here along the tub, which I'm not too concerned about because we're gonna have full at the threshold, full in the whole walking area of the room. And then the cuts are just gonna be kind of at the perimeter in the back corner. And then also this gives us a nice even line like down the middle of the doorway. So I like that too. We consider doing a random pattern. We also consider doing 50-50 or thirds offset. We just decided that this would give us the cleanest and the most less invasive lines, I guess you can say, for that minimal look that we really, really like. So that's another thing to consider when you're doing something like this. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna mix up our thin set and we're gonna get started. We're gonna start setting. We'll probably cut that tile over there so we can run our first row, and then we're gonna work off of that and probably leave the cuts for another day that are going to be along this wall. So let's get to it. All right guys, so we're gonna get ready to mix up some thin set. Just a quick tip. When you are choosing your thin set, make sure that it is rated for the tile you're installing. We're using a large format tile. So we chose the Lady Crete Tri-Light, which is rated for large format tile. This is a modified thin set. It's got a lot of additives in it. So we're gonna get that mixed up and we're gonna go set the tile. Let's go. All right, first tile. Good. So now, quickly, you see I brought my notches past the tile. And I'm not going to go wipe this off right away. This is something I used to do immediately. It's almost like an immediate reaction. You want to like clean up the space. But what that does is it's going to trap the air. So the whole reason for doing the directional troweling to the shortest side is so that the air can escape as quickly as possible. And if you go along here right away before you collapse the ridges and clean up your thin set, you're trapping the air in. So what you want to do is get your tile set, then you go collapse all your ridges. Then you can clean up after. I'm going to collapse all the ridges. I'll start from the center. So you want to move your tile left to right, and you can kind of hear the air pop come out. I can hear it. So now, pretty much I'm done with this. I'm just gonna let it be. I'm gonna move on to the next tile. Then I'll put in my clips and my spacers and we'll go from there.
What's up guys? So yesterday we got these tile laid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 6 cuts. We cut in this tile and we went to set it, and as you can see in the previous video, we had to pull it twice. Well, when we were prepping this floor, we failed to put our straight edge down along the back edge of the wall.
So like all over there behind the toilet flange. The floor is pretty flat everywhere else, but just behind, you can even see it like where the wall, where the drywall goes to the floor, that there's a hump in the floor right there. And we missed it completely. So go ahead, put the level down.
So we realized that, as Shannon was saying, there's a big hump here, which...
And so explain why that's like not good with large format.
So if you're using a small tile, you can kind of form the tile to go over the hump.
The tile won't bend, but you can kind of
follow the floor.
Yeah.
When you're using a tile like this, as you can see, this tile right here, and where the next one is going to go is almost in half. Mm-hmm. So imagine this level is a tile,
yeah.
this is what
tile's about as big as the level.
this is what the tile was doing. It was seesawing on our hump. So that's the main. So that's why your prep, especially when you're doing large format, is very important, because you cannot follow the floor if we have some sort of inconsistency. So now we have to stop because we missed it. I'm going to try to remove this hump as best as I can. I'm going to start with a grinder and a diamond blade and make...
Show them the grinder.
I'm going to start with a grinder and a diamond blade, and I'm literally just going to score shallow cuts in this hump and then cross hatch it and then go back over it with my 4.5 inch grinder with the diamond cup wheel to try to take this hump out as best as we can. We're probably not going to get it perfect, but as you can see, this is...
When the tile, like the grout joint, you could see the grout joint over there, we're following right here. So the end of the tile was laying like right here where this level is, and it's pushing the tile up that much, which is like probably 1/4 of an inch. So it was causing the tile not even to hit the floor over there, and obviously then create lippage when that tile is down over there. So it was kind of horrific. There's no way to there would be no other way to do this unless we would have set the floor from this side and then brought the whole floor up like that. But you can see the buildup we would have over here on this end would be so high. It would just be retarded to do that. It's just we missed it, so.
Yeah, so it happens. We're not perfect, but you know, the difference is correcting your mistake or fixing what you missed to proceed so you can have a quality installation. So that's what we're going to do next. You'll probably see a time lapse of me busting my butt on this hump. So let's go.
All right, so here we are. This is technically day 3 to do a 1-day floor. Anyway, so Chris was able to grind down this whole spot. It was all pretty high, but our main problem area was this part behind the tub, the toilet flange, and around here. You know, like we missed this when we were prepping, which is such a bad mistake, but it happens. The biggest thing and the only thing you can do is fix it. I don't know anybody that could have possibly installed this tile with the floor the way it was. Like there was no fudging it. It wasn't like a little bit of lippage. It was like you could stick your fingers up under the tile. That's how high up it was like sticking. So the only way to avoid this would have been to set the tile from this side of the room out, and then everything would have had to been brought up. But you're talking 1/4 inch, probably more of thin set, and it's not meant for that. So then if you didn't grind it down, the other option would be to self-level the entire room. So we missed it. We did the best we could with what we had. We fixed it, and now it's just time to move on. We're gonna tile this spot, tile the rest of the room. There's only 3 full tiles and then 2 cuts in this back wall here, and we are done. So let's just get this biatch tiled. All right, and there you have it. We finally made it to the finish line. The floor is finally done. Boy, our original intent was to show you guys how you can lay out large format tile in a smaller room, which we did. Once we grout this, you will likely not even see the grout joints. They will kind of fade away right into the tile. We chose a color that is very similar, but you also got how to solve a problem on the fly. Typically, I would like, and we would like, when we're doing a project, for anybody to figure out any problems that are happening or that could happen before you start setting tile, but we completely missed this high spot over here by the toilet flange, and that really screwed us up. Like a 1-day job turned into 3. So these are the things that happen in real life, guys. Like, not everything is perfect no matter how much you plan, and you just have to roll with it and figure it out. A lot of working with tile and any trade really is problem solving and figuring out the best of the worst solution that you can find. And that's exactly what we did here. And it actually still came out beautiful, and I'm still very happy with the outcome. So the next part of this project, we are going to start tiling the walls here. We are so behind on this job between our traveling and between now the holidays are coming up. We're ripping our hair out. But walls are next. That's gonna be fun. It's a subway tile. This one's all dusty. That has like uneven edges. So I'm sure this is gonna throw us for some sort of loop. We're gonna run into problems along the way. I am almost sure of it. Our plan is to miter the edges around the window there. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like, drop a comment, share this with all your friends, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.